45 is not expected to respond to any type of engagement from black folks at all.
Right.
But I think what's even more of a problem is the fact that because, Kim basically aligned herself with 45 and has these millions and millions and millions of followers and gave him this platform to say, okay, I pardon, y'all little black, princess or whatever. Now he has that leverage when it's re-election time to say, I did this for your people. Right. Now what are you going to do?
Which I don't think anybody should allow that to move the needle. That don't mean
at all, because
nothing.
the fundamental issue is mass incarceration.
Right.
And
you didn't do anything on the actual issue.
No. Nothing. And not only that, but all of the initiatives that Obama made to kind of rectify this whole mass incarceration issue, Sessions, which is what the Attorney General is now rolling all of those back. Mm-hmm. So, and he's actually requiring them to bring the hammer down on these low-level drug offenses. Mm-hmm. So, essentially what he did was just place a shiny object there.
Right, it's distraction.
To distract us from
the fact that they're and then give you an ice cream cone. Everything's supposed to be peace. It's not.
Hey man, the ice cream cone was pretty nice.
It was nice, but guess what? All my people still locked up. All of the whole fucking process is completely broken. I mean, like from... Oh my God! From arrest until trial until sentence is all broken.
That's a just issue overall.
It's America issue, because let's frame this the right way, right? We have a man in the White House whose family is profiting off of his position illegally, getting away with it. Yeah. They're debating whether he can be charged criminally for committing crimes.
Exactly.
While they're wrongfully incarcerating at a high rate low-level drug offenses unfairly, right?
Yeah.
So that's literally the epitome of the unfairness and the inequality that's going on in this country.
And nobody is looking at it that way. The way I look at it as everything that this whole administration is doing, everything Trump doing, all of the shit they doing is at a gangster level. Is that I'm taking over this neighborhood. You're going to pay me this money because I'm keeping you safe, even though you're only paying me because I told you it was dangerous. Like that type of shit. They're extorting laws or whatever you want to have. However you want to do that analogy. They're criminalizing and gangstering up the whole situation to the point where nobody's stepping up against them. Nobody's going to say anything. There's no recourse for the things that they do. The fucking Democratic Party is...
Well, Democrats been in shambles for forever.
Bitches. I don't understand it.
But the problem is that Democrats are afraid in the post-Clinton era. They took a huge L because they just basically told all the Bernie supporters, fuck you, and then they didn't show up when it comes time to it. Whereas Republicans were going to rally around Trump whether they liked him or not. Because at the end of the day, business is business. And that's how they see things. Whereas Democrats don't see it.
I mean, 45 had one concept right, which was the whole idea of draining the swamp. And
it was a lie.
No, but that's a lie.
No, I do feel like aside from, the extreme liberals like Bernie, that unless there's actual new political talent from like the millennials generation,
but that's at least something 10 years
substantive.
Off.
This is true.
But that's 10 years off.
We're not going anywhere because
but that's 10 years off.
We need, like you said, we need some people on the left that's going to match that gangster. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because they're coming in there and they're saying, we're conservatives. Mm-hmm. We have these family values. Meanwhile, Trump is in the White House sleeping with freaking prostitutes and doing whatever under the guise of being a Republican when we all know that is not a true Republican. So unless we have some Democrats that's going to match that gangster and that's going to step up and say, okay, this is what we want, this is what we're fighting for, he's not going anywhere.
So where do you find
where are the Democrats saying he needs to be impeached? Where are the Democrats saying he needs to go to jail?
No, there are plenty of Democrats who've been trying to impeach him, but there are people in the House, and we completely ignore the House of Representatives. We ignore everything that they do. We ignore what they say. We ignore anything that goes on outside of the Senate, White House, Judiciary, committees, and, of course, the Justice Department, and sometimes the, let's scratch that. Exactly. If you're not in the Senate, Judiciary Committee, Justice Department, or the White House, we just pretend like you don't exist. Right. Like, you don't have anything that happens. Even though the House of Representatives, is generally speaking, the last little gateway between a lot of the bullshit that they've been trying to do.
You got to find that gangster, though, man. You got to find somebody in the House of Representatives, somebody on the Senate floor. The
Democrats don't have any plans. Like, the problem with the Democrats is that the Democrats are always going after whoever is the hot minority group. Because the Republicans only have to satisfy three things: family values, conservative America,
gun reform,
and traditional Americans. Right. And what I mean by that is the family values thing is pretty self-explanatory. The conservative thing, it just, as long as you just say something that's slightly to the right of what the liberals are saying, then you're fine. And then by doing traditional family, just keeping it as man, woman, children, do your American duty bullshit. Democrats got to satisfy LGBT. They got to satisfy black voters, Pacific American voters, Asian American voters, Latino American voters. They got to satisfy technically quasi-illegal voters. They got to satisfy refugees. They got to satisfy whatever the current flavor of the month group is. Right now it's trans Americans, but it'll change. Like they've got 10 houses.
But then they can actually not water it down, but they can actually laser focus that into the top 3 issue positions.
But that's what they've been doing, and that's why they've been failing
and get them, and get the minority voters who are unengaged to actually, start getting engaged.
But how? Like, the thing that Trump did very well, and what his campaign focused on in his first year, 2017, was they focused on tax reform. That was it. They didn't give a fuck about anything else that was going on. They didn't care. It was just, how do we get this tax reform, and how do we get it to your pocket? Democrats don't have a laser-focused issue that they can get everyone around.
They don't even have a party leader. They don't even have a party leader, because I feel like a lot of these people who are there now are somewhat...
Republicans don't have a party leader.
Are somewhat tainted by this whole Clinton debacle.
Well,
so
but the Clinton debacle is a big...
going to listen to her,
No, Nancy Pelosi is a corporate Democrat. It's not that people don't listen to her.
That is the real problem. It's a lot of...
But she's not going to go.
And that's what I mean by, by
no one can vote her out.
No one can...
But that's the thing, is that Trump knows he's not going to be able to get out the Nancy Pelosi's, because Nancy Pelosi's in a district that she fucking owns. She fought tooth and claw to establish that stronghold, and the only way that Nancy Pelosi is leaving is if Nancy Pelosi says, fuck it, I'm out. That's never going to happen. She's not like Mark Ryan, where she wants to retire early and live with her family. Paul Ryan's the other one.
Speaker of the House?
Yeah, Mark Ryan. Mark Ryan is retiring. Why? Because Mark Ryan is done. He's got health care for the rest of his life. He's got a pension for the rest of his life. He's going to spend his time on a beach somewhere, hanging out, doing whatever he wants.
I said Paul Ryan is stepping down too.
Oh, Paul Ryan's stepping down too?
Yeah, that's who's stepping down.
He's the Speaker of the House, right?
Yeah, Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan. He's already said that he's not running for re-election. So at this point, Trump train is running unabated.
Right. Even though Paul Ryan wasn't stopping nothing anyway.
You're right. I was confusing his name.
Yeah, you mean Paul Ryan.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like they're now putting illegal, undocumented kids in cages. That's like some concentration camp shit.
No, it's not some concentration camp shit. It is concentration camp.
And it's like, weren't we obsessed that Obama was going to be the Antichrist? And this thing is just getting away with everything. But
they don't care because it's not their children. Again, Democrats haven't...
My thing is, Trump will... 45 will throw anybody under the bus. Why is it that these Republicans don't understand that if it is between him and them, he's going to save himself? Right. So y'all are literally supporting this dictator, because that's what he's going to end up becoming if he's not impeached and thrown in jail. And I'm like, the same way he will throw these Mexican kids in cages and basically concentration camps is the same way he will throw Asians. He will throw, people who have permanent resident status, because apparently unless you're born here with blonde hair and blue eyes, you don't belong. So, nobody has the ability to stop him.
But he's not the only one doing it. They're doing the same thing. I know people love Dominican Republic, but fuck the DR. They're doing the same thing to people who've been in Haiti. They went and they rolled back all their laws. If you weren't born to legal people in Haiti from 1924 going forward, you are not a citizen now. We have revoked your state.
So now these are issues, because I don't think people seem to understand that, there are American citizens who have the ability to vote who are being affected by these issues. There are Puerto Rican Americans who, Puerto Ricans.
But this is a white issue. Like that's the problem that's the thing that we're not saying here. That is unspoken. This is a white issue, and it does not affect white people. Right. And unless it affects their bottom line, their pockets, their money, their health care, their resources, it won't be whatever. That's why, like, you see with the crack epidemic, nobody did shit to save crack people. But with this opioid epidemic, we rolling out government, everything. Crazy. We going with preventative programs. We're going with deterred probation programs to keep people out of jail. We are doing everything because it's a white issue.
I feel like we are starting to have some power and some effect. Look at the Starbucks situation.
But the Starbucks situation, fuck that. That is a bullshit example because Starbucks shut down for half the day.
Well, I have to admit that morning, I absolutely forgot that they were supposed to be shutting down, and I went to my neighborhood Kroger, and Starbucks was open.
Word.
So I don't understand.
Everybody probably ain't got the memo. You know what I'm
saying? I don't think everybody got the memo.
I think we as a people, as a democratic state, as everybody who wants this change, who sees the bad stuff that's happening in government, are continuing to look towards, unfortunately, old white men to fix our problems.
And I think it's not going to. Nobody's going to pump the brakes until things get to critical unrest. Crisis situation.
I feel like you're wrong. I feel like no one's going to pump the brakes. And what we need to be doing is people need to be out there voting. And that's why I was so happy about the whole Stacey Abrams thing, is because now we have a black woman who's eligible to run for governor,
absolutely,
who is going to be great. And this is something where the Democrats tried to sabotage her campaign.
No, so again, I'm talking
Democrats
about crisis.
Your friends.
I'm talking about nuclear war level crisis.
But that's never going to happen.
But that's that it could be a point where it gets.
But that's never going to happen. It's never going to be a nuclear war crisis.
Things like the little Rocket Man references and all these different things,
Yeah, but that was one of the
Canada for burning down the White House when that's not even correct.
That's Trump craziness. But the little Rocket Man comments, I understand that Trump was way too far to the whatever, but he was effective because he made Kim realize that Trump doesn't care. And when you have to reckon with a man who doesn't care,
you have a fight somebody to get
you have to do whatever. So he was effective in getting Kim to come to the table. But also part of it was that, as we all know through fake intel or whatever, he doesn't have the juice to run more rockets. So he knows that his whole nuclear ambitions thing is not going to happen. So it's best in his, which I guess technically he gets a win too, because by him being this little pumped up, I'm Kim Jong and I'll do all these bad things to you thing, he got people to pay attention to him, and he got people to try to continue to do things like, hey, can we give you this if you'll stop doing that? He got to keep his name relevant so that he didn't become looks like North Korea has oil, we're over there in 3 minutes. Kind of thing, because that's what America had previously done. We see something that we like, we take it.
This is supposed to be happening this week, right?
No, it's happening right now.
Right now,
yeah. Trump just arrived today, so that'll date this podcast to June 10th. But yeah, Trump arrived today. He left the G7 summit in flames and came to South Korea, to Vietnam.
I'm very interested also to see the results of Mueller's probe.
Well, Mueller's probe is a whole nother thing. And I wish we had time to go into that, but we need to keep going. One other thing that I wanted to mention, and we'll be quick about this, was I feel like music is getting weird right now. And I really like how different everything is getting with music. We're now getting to the point where you've got artists coming out that aren't traditionally people that you would think, you know what, you're whatever. Or you got some artists that you don't know how to really classify them. Mm-hmm. So that's becoming something that's really great. And it really goes to show you how different music is going to be in this I guess, newly formed generation.
I think it has a lot to do with users or listeners having the ability to, listen to whatever they want to listen to. You're no longer forced to buy a whole album. You have streaming options. You have all these different methods or vehicles to consume music. So the weird stuff has the ability to have a platform. Mm-hmm. Because if you like weird stuff, you can go find weird stuff.
And you don't have to be force-fed 10 hours of it. You can take 5 minutes of it and be like, oh, that's cool. And keep moving. But I want to say that I hope that within all of this weird shit coming out, we separate weird, creative stuff versus weird. Get that shit the fuck out of here. Type shit.
You let
like
those
you
weird
can't let
kids
all of it come.
There has
to be a line.
But that shows your